take me home tonight is quite alright. Yeah, she say, make me dance. I'll stay. I'm in love, girl, is it obvious? I'm just trying to figure you out. I want all of you if I'm honest. I'm just trying to figure you out. You're all I need to know. You're all I need to know. 'Cause you're all I need, you're all I need, you're all I need to know. 'Cause you're all I need, you're all I need, you're all I need to know. 'Cause you're all I need, you're all I need, you're all I need to know. 'Cause you're all I need,
Well, there's never a shortage of shows or sights and sounds throughout this city, but for the next few hours, all eyes are glued to a final day of the regular season, and we've got a compelling one in store here, as it'll be the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. And we are underway at Allegiant Stadium. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
The Raiders take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Let's go. Rocco waiting.
Throw left side complete. That's Thornton. And he's brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. With these run-pass options, we often talk about a good quarterback and running back. Well, having a talented wide receiver helps also.
Yeah, even coming in third in the discussion, sometimes that means he really should be first, because all you want to do is get the ball in their hands and let them make the big plays downfield.
And the ball on the 30, here's 2nd and 4.
Here we go. 70 Lion, 19, Pioneer.
Now it's Wilson. They'll get this out to Genty. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. The Raiders had 10 and 6 now on the year. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking here to make it 2 in a row.
And when you and I watched tape prepared for this, what we saw was a team that competed hard, and they played well in all 3 phases of the game. And I think if they can carry that over to this week, they've got a really good chance to emerge victorious yet again.
Now it's Wilson. Pass right side, caught by Thornton. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Now Wilson wants a different look. And now an audible here into something else. Now a run. Here's the first-round pick from April's draft. Down the left sideline. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Ashton Jeanty. That's his 19th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Raiders will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Extra point by Carlson would have been good. And that makes the score 7-0.
Raiders 7, Chiefs nothing.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And not much happening on the return as they get this to about the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 23. A run for the first time with Bijan Robinson. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3. And it's 2nd down. You look at this Raiders defense. Right now in the National Football League, they're ranked number 18 against the pass.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
Ball at the 26, 2nd and 7. To throw, it's Mahomes. Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. And the return will stop right around the 25. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
On 1st down, it's Jeanty. And a hard-earned yard there as he ran through one would-be tackler. It's 2nd down. This defense for the Chiefs, they were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball? Or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright?
Here's Wilson. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And it's caught. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Well, that one hurts. That wipes away what would have been a big play.
Well, you and I both know coaches aren't real big on silver linings, but at least that play call was a successful one. Now the focus offensively, that goes to overcoming the penalty and making all that yardage back again.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Wilson. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. There's Wilson to throw. And he's going to be taken down pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line.
A 6-yard loss.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. This will be from 56 yards out. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. And that will extend their lead even further. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. They find themselves down 10-0 early after the interception on their opening drive led to a field goal.
So now they got to pick up the mantle a little bit. You mentioned the team's down 10. They've helped contribute to that. How are they going to get their team back into this ball game? Run the offense that you think is going to be effective and execute it at a high level.
Here's Mahomes to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Robinson. That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
From the gun, it's Mahomes. Now inside the 25. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Chiefs have got it back to within a score. Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. And they're back within a field goal. It's 10-7 now. 10-7 our score after one right here on EA Sports. The Chiefs with the football as we start the second quarter. As they've got it as we resume action.
Harrison Butker to kick off for Kansas City.
Butker now to kick this one away. And a nice return, but he's going to pay for it as they knock him down hard at the end.
The Raiders take over first and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
And that nearly intercepted. The free safety rolling into position almost had it, but it's second down. Now Wilson. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. That's caught by Tucker. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. He was out there waving his arms. Well, you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help. I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
To throw is Wilson. He'll try to pick it up himself. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
It is certainly becoming rarer by the year to see your franchise guy take a hit like that. The defender couldn't believe he had a shot to light him up. So when you take off and run, you have to make sure you can slide, get out of bounds, anything. Just don't leave yourself open to hits like that.
4th down. Here's Wilson. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation, but they must have either felt like they either had a great play call on or they're trying to show extreme confidence.
Up the middle, it's Genty. 20, 5, and he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Ashton Genty with touchdown number 20 on the year, and they are able to add on to their advantage. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead.
17, Chiefs 7.
On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. Chet, now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Looking to throw is Mahomes. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drive any like that. 2nd down. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously, one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Chiefs first down.
Good for Kansas City Chiefs. First down. A gain of 16 yards. And a first down, Chiefs.
On play action, it's Mahomes. He's going deep for Brown. And that is incomplete.
Patrick Mahomes, for all of his artistry and arm angles and what he can do in the short passing game, never forget he's got a cannon as well. He unleashes a big one there, but that time it winds up incomplete.
Now a 2nd and 10. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. And again, it's Mahomes. And Mahomes will do it himself. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and that's enough to move the chains. A couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46.
First down, Chiefs.
Now here's Mahomes. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Yes, the old tip drill works to perfection there.
You're bringing back great memories. Used to love that drill. And a lot of times in practice, you work on it, not just one tip, but multiple tips, just in case the ball stays in the air for a while, to have an awareness and the ability to go up and grab it, and then you want to get some blocking support and end up in the opposite end zone.
In that tip drill, what do you yell?
For us, it was Oski. Okay, Oski was an
things for
interception.
different teams.
Different teams have different ways of doing it. I've heard bingo, jackpot. The worst I ever heard, though, was Frankenstein. You don't want it to be a
Too many
three-syllable word.
syllables, yeah.
You want to get it right down and go. Oski is really the preferred word.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And the stakes in this game certainly high as we get toward the end of the regular season. For now, they are holding a wild card spot, but there are no shortage of other teams in the NFC looking to take that spot from them.
Starting with the guys on the other side of the field because they're on the out.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll get this all the way down inside the Vegas 20. A big play there for KC. And even 50 yards.
First and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Hey, Ripley, hey, 43, 15.
Throwing now is Mahomes. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
They go play action. Now Mahomes. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for third.
They made a nice effort to stick it with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
From the gun on third down, Mahomes. That is caught by Rice. Touchdown, Kansas City. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Chiefs are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. Butker on for the PAT. It's up and good, so they claw back into it. 24-14 now. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
Raiders take over first and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
He'll drop this underneath for Gentry. They'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half.
At the 38-yard line.
Wilson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
It's always tough trying to keep your guy upright when he's trying to throw the football. When you're dealing with those big, bad guys on the defensive front, it's even tougher. And this time, those guys on the opposite side won the battle, getting to the quarterback and knocking him into an incompletion.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger. Warriors 70. Panther 11, Panther 11.
Now the play clock hits 0 here, and we're going to get a delay. So that flag will set him back 5 yards. Not ideal there. That delay of game backs them up 5 yards, so now they need 7 yards on 3rd down.
Hurt, move it, 19. 60 mark there, 60 mark there. Hey, smash. 70 Ranger, 70 Ranger. Trap 60, trap 60. Buffalo 18.
Now Wilson. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
A.J. Cole.
Here's A.J. Cole now to punt this one away. Here's Smith to return it. It's a 46-yard punt, 2 on the return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And with him down 2 scores, you wonder if they might try and put something together, even if it's just to get into field goal range. Mahomes now to throw. That's out wide here for Robinson. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space. It turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Play action. Now it's Mahomes. He's going deep for Brown. And that's caught inside the 30. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Marquise Brown with his 14th touchdown of the year, 2nd of the game. And the Chiefs get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Extra point by Butker is on target. And that cuts the lead to 3, 24-21.
Chiefs 21. Harrison Butker to kick off for Kansas City.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
Raiders take over a 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
The long Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And they may just be content to take this 3-point lead and head into the locker room.
19 tight. 19 tight.
Hold the look. Hold.
Here's Wilson. That's complete. Ginty out of the backfield. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half.
And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
Second down and a yard. Now a timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1.
19 right. Let's go now. Hawks, 18 rattle. 18 rattle. 60 Bobcat. 60 Panther 11. Panther 11. Ready.
Throwing is Wilson. He'll find Ginty out of the backfield. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2.
Damn, I miss you, Chester. Sending love from my bass compressor. Ground control with a soul like Bowie, and I'll chop you up if I'm under pressure. I don't really want to brag. I'm just telling that I'm leaving with a bag. High five to the scarred and the strange. From the outlaw that'll never get tamed.
Ready. 60 Bison.
Final play of the half. It's Wilson. Gets it quickly out wide to Thornton. And that will get a late. Quarter number 2. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. He made his first attempt, this from 45. Carlson able to put this one through. And that will do it for this first half.
Raiders 27, Chiefs 21.
It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. And he won't quite make it to the 25. KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, it was only to help the amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
Mahomes going to throw. Pitch and catch here to Travis Kelce. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 23 yards to pick up there.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Fight on these two. Fight on these two. 480. 15.
In motion left is Rice.
Bison.
To throw, it's Mahomes. He's going deep for Brown. And Mahomes misfires again, and it's intercepted. And the Raiders are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. Well, these defensive coaches, they sure like what they've got in this rookie corner, and with good reason, as you saw there.
He only cost him a day 2 pick, and a lot of people thought he had first-round ability. But when he was available on draft night, that was one where you didn't need the full time to make the selection. You call that pick in early, and he shows why he was so coveted with that interception there.
And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
They certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. A give out of the gun to Genty. And he'll get a few yards here to the 34.
That was a quality play to start a new set of downs. It was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Line of scrimmage, the 24. This is 2nd and 6. Now it's Wilson. Over the middle, complete. That's Bowers. And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. So, roughing the passer penalty, never one that you like to see.
Not at all, and especially when you're in that final push of the season. You can't afford to get your quarterback hurt before the playoffs roll around. And we know they'll be here before you know it.
Here we go. 19 tight. 19 tight. Go.
Here's Wilson. They'll get this out to Genty. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon. It looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, you assign a man to him.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Let's go now. 19 right.
Now it's Wilson. On the left side, a catch by Wade. So it's a gain of 12 there on the reception. And it's 2nd down.
A gain of 12 brings up 2nd down at the 27-yard line.
Go. Hurt. 19 target. Ready to look. Hurt.
The run straight ahead with Genty. And he'll get it down this time to 17. 113 yards rushing for him here as he starts to draw closer to a 1,000-yard campaign.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front seven, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
To the left side, pass caught by Thornton. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Dante Thornton from 17 yards out. And the Raiders are able to widen their advantage. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you've taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
Well, a dangerous return man showing it here. And a very solid return out across the 45-yard line before going out of bounds.
It's the 3rd quarter. They're down on the scoreboard. While no one wants to hit the panic button just yet, points are a necessity on this drive. What a great way to get set up.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Give him 30 yards there.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
Now Patrick going to change the play. On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, it's not time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
From the 22 now, here's 2nd down and 8. Here's Mahomes to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Mahomes. Got him in. It's Brown. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Robinson is in. Touchdown, Chiefs. Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in.
And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done.
Extra point by Butker is on target. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Touchdown. Here's Butker on to kick it away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
The Raiders take over 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Wilson. Man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that'll make it 2nd down.
2nd and 6.
To throw is Wilson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. The offense on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 6. Here's Wilson to throw. That is caught. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
Let these cowards tell it, walking New Orleans with the end of get the LA yelling. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn his TV off, turn his TV off.
Here we go. 19 Tiger, 19, 70, 19 Tiger, 19 Tiger, 70 Rangers, 7 Pirates, 7 Pirates.
To throw again is Wilson. He's got Turner. And he'll go down the number for getting this inside the 30. That goes for a gain of 31.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal.
A run out of the gun with Genty. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 132 yards rushing for
Out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well. That's good hard running right there on 1st and goal. That gets them down to the 2 and puts a lot more pressure on that defense.
Nike, 18. Hey, smash Bronco.
Genty will take this one in for a Vegas touchdown. So the rushing touchdowns continue to stack up, CD. That now 15 for him on the year.
And give him a ton of credit for staying healthy, being a smart runner, and is showing just how important he's been to his team. He's got to be their MVP at this point in the season. And those votes may even turn into league MVP votes when it's all said and done.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. It's a foot race, and they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown, Chiefs.
Touchdown, Chiefs.
And that big fourth quarter return, Charles, makes this a one-score game.
And now it all comes down to philosophy. All right, they send a big return for a touchdown, so the momentum is high. Do you want to ride that and go for 2? Or do you just go ahead and kick the extra point and come back and rely on your defense?
So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
The The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that first down carry.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got a second down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Now, this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop them here.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger. 19 Light. Nike,
Check it out.
Warriors 70. Go.
Here's Wilson. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Sets up 4th down.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll kick it away for the second time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. That's returnable now for Smith. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here's 1st and 10. Mahomes. This is caught. It's Brown. Now he's loose again. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown, 77 yards. And the Chiefs strike quickly here to tie up the ball game. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And it is good. So they take the lead, and now the pressure falls on their defense to try and hold on.
Harrison Butker to kick off for Kansas City.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
First and 10.
We go 0 to 100 real quick. Baby on that rap to pay the bills. And now I'm fitted, not even a little bit. Oh, Lord, know yourself, know your worth. My actions being louder than my words.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
Let's go now. Hawk 70, Hawk 70. Trap 60, Trap 60.
Wilson to throw. He's going to let it fly. That's caught inside the 20. And this will set them up nicely deep down in KC territory.
Ah, what a time for a lapse defensively. That turns this game right on its ear. And now, forget about going fast. They might want to take the air out a little bit and force the defense to use some timeouts.
Here we go, first and goal. Here's White. And he'll be forced to dive forward just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on second and goal.
Let's go. Check out.
Once again, it's White. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. The Chiefs quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, third and goal. Wilson gets rid of it quickly. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Dante Thornton, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Raiders answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a fourth-quarter lead. And now the Raiders will face an important two-point conversion attempt here.
The Raiders will line up for the two-point conversion.
Throwing now is Wilson. And this one's caught. And their fourth-quarter lead grows by a couple more. He hits the big target for the two-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. This is 1st and 10. Mahomes. He'll get this one to Kelsey. That's complete. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. Final minute. No timeouts at their disposal. Here's 1st and 10.
Kansas City Chiefs. First down. 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line.
Mahomes to throw it. That's out wide here for Robinson. Here's 2nd down.
A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 23-yard line.
Mahomes. That's caught left side by the tight end, Ray. And they go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20.
It's a gain of 6.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Here's Mahomes. And it's caught. It's a touchdown. So they rally here in the final minute, and they're an extra point away from tying this game. And now they're going to go for two and a possible win as this crowd rises to make things difficult.
Conversion.
Go. 15.
Mahomes will throw. And he's going to go down. He's sacked before he can get rid of the football. And they remain down by a point.
Harrison Butker to kick off for Kansas City.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And that's going to skip
The
into the
Raiders
end
take
zone
over
for a
first and
touchback.
10 at their own 20-yard line.
Let's go. Hawk 70.
Victory